just wanted to say a little bit, well, not a lot, but I really love Keith, and it's hard to sum it up in 5 or 6, 10 minutes, whatever. But Keith was a wonderful husband. We were married on Sweetest Day. And now we're laying him to rest on Valentine's Day. It's been almost 18 years since we met each other and was together since 2000. And how we met and some of my memories. We met at Delphi, and we were both team leaders. He would come up to me and talk to me, and he never gave up. He was always persistent. And I admired how hard he worked and all the stories he told me about growing up. We shared stories about growing up. He had poured concrete for his dad, and the house his dad built from the ground up. I told him about picking green beans, and that how my family picked up rocks in the yard. And I just admired that he was in the Army, so was my dad. And I was interested. Let's see. We started taking breaks together. We had our morning dunes and coffee. Then we would have some cheeses, crackers, water, pop. Keith drank a lot of water. I drank pop. And I remember telling him he had the prettiest blue eyes, and I loved his laugh. I told him I also had a crush on a boy named Strader in school, in elementary, but that was kind of my pickup line. We talked about growing up, we talked about family, religion, and how our paths were so close. I lived in West Carolina on Lowry. His in-laws lived around the corner. I said, we probably crossed paths. Who knows? Maybe God brought us together. Our first date was at Frisch's, and we had big boys and hot veg cakes. But he knew that I worked at Frisch's, and I loved hot veg cakes. He gave me a card with some money, some earrings, and a poem. He wrote me a poem, and I don't know what I did with it, but it was about the stars in the heaven, the sandy beaches, the waves hitting the sand. So I really liked the I love you and the singing. That's why I love that picture, because that's when he went out west to work in Texas, and when he was driving out for Vista. And Keith loved everyone. He believed in God. He loved my kids and grandkids just like his own. Brandon is his son, and he is so proud of Brandon, and he bragged about him. He encouraged Brandon with the computers, and now he's a computer engineer. And there's a picture. And Tawny learned to work on cars and race cars, change tires. She won trophies at Edgewater, and he pushed her to be strong and independent. So, Jesse, he took him out to show him how much babies cost, because he was girl crazy. He took me to the store, how expensive diapers are, and formula and food. So, and he also learned about computers, but he likes to play games. And then with Sean, they just had long talks about life, what's important, work, family. And when Sean got a house, he went and helped him clean it up. He would just drop everything for the grandkids and do anything for them. Get up late at night, fry a turkey burger, buy him fruit, blueberries, and even bad things. He'd buy him some candy. And Barry, his son-in-law, was his buddy. They had long talks, went fishing, shooting guns, and just about being a man. He enjoyed doing that with everybody. But my mom was his mom. She would kiss him on the head at night and he would say your prayers and good night. Keith loved the Bible and photography and his camera. He liked guns, race cars, and of course all the flowers. They had the Lincoln flower that was his Aunt Amy's. He loved working in the yard, cutting the grass, and the neighbor's grass as well. And he was always helping neighbors with anything, cutting down trees, moving furniture, helping with the concrete, repairing a fence. He would come and show me how many steps he walked. He could walk in the park behind us. He loved the animals, even the stray cats. We would feed the chickens. He visited across the street. And the ducks we had, the frogs, the pond, and the turtles, and the squirrels that ate the bird food that he would put out to feed the birds. We just loved our family vacations in Tennessee and Florida. And when I would cry, he would cry. When I was crying about losing Lisa and Dad. We're all gonna miss him, his jokes and his infectious laugh. And I made you coffee, honey. His runs to the store for cigarettes. He would come back with a New York peppermint patty, a Little Debbie cake, Dunkin' sticks or white cakes, and I would tease him and say, "I'm your Big Debbie." He would go get ice cream, and we'd go to Marion's for pizza, Frisch's. He liked his fish and Mexican chewies. He just loved to eat, and he never complained about anything I made. He tried being healthy though, with juicing with his beets, his apples, and celery, his lemon water, vinegar, and avocados. He was trying to get healthy. And his numerous steps that he would go outside. I wish I could have saved him that Thursday morning. He had his heart attack. He was so worried about me being sick. He gave me his phone to call the doctor. And when I gave him his phone back, and then I heard him fall, it was bad. The nurse in me said, "Do something." I called 911 to get help, and I started CPR, 2 breaths, 30 compressions. Just remember this lyric, staying alive, staying alive. If you don't know how to do CPR, learn it. You might just need to. You could save your loved one. He did leave the house with a pulse to the hospital. And Lisa and Keith encouraged me to become a nurse. My whole family helped me with cooking, dishes, laundry, anything to make it work. He would take the kids so I would have time to study. He pushed me not to give up because it was hard. I learned about death and dying, but when it's your loved one, it changes. I learned the stages of grief. And believe me, we go through it. The shock, your numbness, denial, you can't believe it's real, and how can this be? Anger, you get angry with yourself, angry with God. But then you bargain, I would do better, I would trade places. The guilt, maybe I can do better, maybe it's my fault. And the pain, depression, sadness and emptiness, acceptance. Then you realize you have no control, and then you have to have some hope. We all go through it, and maybe, not the same order, but it's real. We can just live on for Keith, read your Bible, look at nature and its beauty, hug your family and your friends, love like no tomorrow. And remember his big blue eyes, his tender heart and helping hand, his smile and that laugh. I'm sure I'm going to miss him. I will see him in heaven one day. Yes. Until we meet again. I love you, honey bunny, and thank you for loving me. And thanks everybody that came. It might be corny, but that's how I feel.